Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. In this video I want to talk about chat control. So this is something really serious that is happening to the European Union, and the basic idea is that the European Union wants to introduce scanning mechanism on our devices that would effectively compromise the whole idea behind end-to-end encryption. Now, to understand the impact of this and why this is not a good idea, let's go back and let's talk about messaging systems, right? So there are different architectures that we can have when it comes to messages. For example, let's consider Telegram. Now, most of Telegram is actually not end-to-end encrypted. So most chats in Telegram are not end-to-end encrypted. Now, what it means in practice that it's not end-to-end encrypted, most of it is not end-to-end encrypted, it means this, right? I am a user. Let's say that I am Alice, and I'm communicating with another user. Let's say I'm communicating with Bob. And here there is the central server that handles all the Telegram messages. Now, given that it is not end-to-end encrypted, it means that this thing can be encrypted, for example, with TLS. This thing can be encrypted, for example, with TLS, although in Telegram we actually do not have TLS, we have a custom implementation that does something similar, so it's not even TLS in that case. But it means basically that this thing is encrypted, however, the server sees everything, right? So the server sees everything. And this is not an end-to-end encrypted approach. Now, instead, if you have end-to-end encryption, it means that the server does not see the content of the messages, and the server is just used to relay the messages. And it has some metadata on the communication, so it does have some metadata, not much, but some metadata there is, just enough so that it can relay the messages from Alice directly to Bob, and the server never knows how to decrypt the traffic itself, right? Because the server does not have the keys. And this is what we mean when we talk about end-to-end encrypted. Now, the problem with chat control is that they want to introduce a scanning mechanism on the device themselves that will scan every message that Alice sends, every message that Bob receives. Now, this is done on the endpoints themselves, which actually see the content, right? And this is a problem because it means that effectively you delete all the privacy, because now everyone, like people interested in actually getting the messages, can use this kind of access, this kind of system, and they can say, you know what, I don't care if this channel is encrypted. I don't care if this channel uses the latest protocol to ensure maximum security. I will just go to the device and I will just read the data from there. And effectively, it means you would break all the cryptography without even breaking the cryptography. It is effectively a backdoor into the cryptography, right? Now, the problem is that this thing is actually being taken seriously for some reason which is just too hard to understand for myself. So what we have here, we have 8 member states opposing it, 12 supporting it, and 7 undecided. Now, what is the idea? Well, of course, here, let's see the undecided one. So Germany is undecided, but recently there is something that I heard is that Germany wants to approve it, right? Which is extremely not good, right? Italy is also undecided. I've also made a video on my Italian channel on the matter, but still I didn't hear much about Italy, so I don't know exactly what is going on in my own country. But yeah, this is a problem, and basically the idea is that, for example, this is so this position. So here there's this fightchatcontrol.eu, basically fightchatcontrol.eu, which is a platform that you can use to contact your representatives in the parliament. So take action. You're going to take action here. And basically here you can select the issues which concern you the most about this problem. Now, why do they want to introduce this thing? And of course, as always, when they want to break encryption, they always use the children as an excuse, basically. It is said that it is done for child protection, but the truth of the matter is that it will not remove all the harm that is done in that way. It will just make it harder. But people who are criminals and who do these kind of things, they will continue to do it. It's just that they will use more precautions, basically. And in general, in my opinion, the kind of harm that is being fought, there is an extreme imbalance between the technology that we're using and the harm that we're trying to fight. And so basically, I will select all of them: privacy, breaking encryption, undermine democracy, economic impact, technical issues. I mean, Signal, for example, which is a chat that offers end-to-end encryption, said that if they are forced to pretty much in this kind of context, they would probably not even take they would not offer the business itself, the service itself. So it would really be like a lose-lose situation for everyone, I feel like. And here, by the way, you can write this text, and it's kind of like pre-prepared for doing that. This is especially important right now when it comes to Germany, basically. So the Slovenia, October 2 opposes chat control. Okay, this is good. The Italy is still undecided, of course. The Germany now reverted to undecided. So yeah, this is like pretty bad, and it all started in the 2022 was the initial chat proposal. And in 2025, the Danish presidency begins, and with the change of the presidency, they tried once again to have it approved. Now, the problem is that, in my honest opinion, technology is too powerful and it is too spread all over the place. We don't want to break cryptography like this, because if we compromise cryptography like this at this global scale in Europe, we would lose so much individual freedom, and the win is just not worth the cost. I think that given that now all communications happen digitally, having such system makes the entire democracy too weak for corruption. Like if a corrupt power comes out, basically, they now have this extreme power of using this all-seeing eye. And it's just not good. It's just not good. Cryptography should defend the citizens, and in a good, healthy democracy, we should have cryptography. Cryptography is a defense. It is a defense for the citizen. Yes, it can also be used maliciously, but the thing is that criminals will always have their way against the law. Cryptography is not to defend the criminals, it is to defend the citizen, to protect the citizen against everything, against the government, against other criminals, against the national agency of different governments. Like, we just don't want that. It would make the entire system, cryptographic system, just much weaker. And to be honest, I think it's just something that it's horrible, it's bad, and let's see how it will go, because it does not look good for Europe. Now, I've sent the letter to the Italian representatives. Of course, they represent me as an Italian citizen. If you are in Germany, contact your German representatives. If you are in the undecided state, please contact your representatives and tell them that this is not the way to approach the problem. They always put like children and these kind of things as an excuse to break cryptography, but basically, like, there are a lot of opinions, also technical opinions, that this thing is just not good and it wouldn't even solve the problem they are trying to solve. Now, I made this video to inform you, to make you aware of the issue. I'm gonna put some links in the description where you can read for yourself and become aware of this thing that is happening, because another problem of Europe is that they make decision for the entire unity but sometimes the communication is really lackluster. Like for example, in Italy, there was no public news about this. Basically, I just read it online. And yeah, so it's a really like a bad situation. If you're in Europe and you can write to your representatives, please do so if you care about your privacy and the privacy of your fellow citizens. So this is it for this video. I'll put links in the description so that you can inform yourself. Please take care. Let's protect privacy all together. This is a fundamental right that in a digital society we cannot just give up. It is extremely important that we protect it, that we just use it and develop it even more. Thank you very much, and to the next video.